Hey guys, good afternoon. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lerato, Sebata, your procurement specialist and of course business coach. Guys, today we are back with yet another video, and this one is really special, particularly because a lot of you guys have been asking me to do this video. So the couple of people that say, I want to get into tenders, I don't know where to start, I don't know where to go, and the second thing is that which industries can I look at, which type of services can I start with, which commodities still have a need and a demand, and sometimes, guys, if I really think about it, we have a lot of business problems to solve, in this country. We have a lot of social issues to solve, so because of the need that is already out there, you then can enter into the space of business. It is a bit of a difficult question to answer on your behalf because ultimately you need to run the business. But what I will tell you is some of the industries that I know till today, they still have a need for such services, and it will be quite prudent for you to just get involved into that type of sector because it is a growing type of industry. So before I even tell you guys which industry to look into or which tenders to look at for starting out, is that any type of business, understand that for you to be there, for the longer time of it or the longevity of the business, is one, you have to be solving a business problem. Yeah, there has to be a need. You can't run the services when there's no need, or if there's too much supply than demand, then you're trading on rough grounds, if I can say so. So first things is you understand there is a need for what you're about to provide as a service, right? As a business, look at industries that do have a need. And number two, where is the economy going? What's happening with our, rate of exchange? What's happening with the sectors, investors? Where are they putting their money? So you need to start thinking a little bit different, before we just start saying, do cleaning tender, do supply and deliver this and that. You have to align yourself with where the economy is going in terms of the focus, where the government will be spending money, where private sector is interested in invested in spending money, and then you can carve your way into creating a space for you in that type of sector, right? So what I do then, what I have decided to do is to just highlight a couple of sectors that I believe they're fast growing, there's still a lot of room for growth, and that's where you can tap in as a business person and just venture into those type of sectors, right? So let's go. The first one I want to just mention is solar and renewable energy. Of course, this is like a growing trend now, right? A lot of businesses, they're going solar, a lot of commercial spaces are going solar, and a lot of residential areas are going solar. So you understand that renewable energy is a thing. Energy saving initiatives are a thing, even if it's not solar particularly. Remember, you just want an alternative, uninterrupted, supply of electricity. So if you then consider, in Africa, actually in general, we just have these issues. This is not just in South Africa. So this is one sector that is yet to grow, and this is one industry a lot of corporates are putting money in to look for alternative ways of energy, right? And the government is doing the same thing. Individuals are doing the same thing. Businesses are doing the same thing, small or big. We are all frustrated with load shedding and issues related to expensive, electricity bills. So if we can look at what can I supply or what can I provide as a service into this type of business, trust and believe you will always have opportunities that are coming up. But what you do need to understand is you can't go and want to replicate what's already in the market without you having, the capacity, the money, and, resources to do so, where you will obviously be failing because you'll be competing with large corporates, and that's not what you want. What you do want to do is that what is your advantage? If you are a young black female or black male, you can enter into the spaces. There's quite a lot of room for that. And there's probably going to be more growing, initiatives and technology related to solar and energy type of services that will be required. You got that? So the second point, guys, I would advise is you look at waste management and recycling opportunities. This is one of the fast growing industries. There has been a lot of players in the market, but it's not enough. In South Africa in general, we are still experiencing issues related to recycling of any of our items, products, and materials. So this is one industry that you know, it's also growing, but most people don't pay attention to it. There's always tenders or opportunities related to this. I mean, you can see global warming, the weather, it's just, things are happening. So there are a lot of, I guess, opportunities for one to innovate on how to do smart recycling, you know, smart waste management, all of those things, right? If you go into like the rural areas or maybe areas that are closer to that, and Mpumalanga, Paula, and them, it's shocking, guys, that when you actually drive around the neighborhood, you still find dumping zones, you know, where the neighborhood there still dumps at those unauthorized sites, purely because there's just less, I would say, players in the market that can handle the demand of recycling and waste management. It's probably not one of the nicest, I would say, cutest industries to enter into, but definitely it is one of the best as a business to exist for a long time and to always at least be having a couple of opportunities. Because just drive around, you tell me, outside of Gauteng, I mean, Gauteng, at least they try, Pick It Up tries a lot to keep the city clean. You know, there's a lot of companies that are doing recycling in businesses. You know, everywhere you go, there is just now a lot of change management related to that. But if you go outside of Gauteng, some cities are still not where we are or where we need to be. That is still another need, and that is still an area and an industry you can look at in terms of looking for opportunities or even starting your business for that matter. The third one, I would advise you look at agriculture and agribusiness. Yeah, so the space of agriculture, again, it's growing. The old farmers, guys, bakhulile sebadala. So now us as the new generation and some of the people need to continue, right, with that. And there's still a lot of, I would say, corporate initiatives that are driving, focusing on female businesses, youth-owned businesses related to agriculture. There are companies that are still looking at, or rather have big drives and compliance related to responsible sourcing and not exploiting people that are working in those areas. And therefore, companies pump money into, I would say, businesses that run operations related to farming, agriculture, agribusiness, any new form of innovation and making things easier for that sector. Trust me, you will not go out of business quite quickly, or at least it's not like flooded. You know, these are just obviously unconventional businesses, but this is where you realize potential for growth. And the barriers of entry, honestly speaking, they're not that hard if you just need to research and see what is it that you need to have as a business to enter into that market. And I've already shared with you, you know, some of the funding institutions you can look into. And by the way, a lot of funding institutions, when you come up with the business plan that have this type of industries that you want to venture into, you might just get an ear than a security business. You follow, right? Okay, let's move on. So guys, the fourth one I would advise that you consider entering into, it is green technology and clean energy. So there is still a drive to go green. Remember, there was a time, I think 2015, 2016, going green was just starting, you know, creating green buildings, smart buildings. It's becoming a thing now, which has to have these type of green certifications and accreditations. And those type of businesses don't have a lot of youth, I would say, management or even presence. So going green, it's a thing. There are still companies that don't comply with the entire ESG methodology and regulation and requirements. So now, because there is now sustainability again as the biggest driver from an economical point of view, that are we driving sustainable growth, sustainable businesses, ethical, green, and all of that. So again, some industries are yet to transform. They are yet to start these things, but this is where you can have this opportunity to actually enter into this type of things, right? It might not be easier from, I would say, you getting the qualifications, accreditations, but once you are in, you are in. And or you can just go and partner with those that are already doing it but don't have the presence of black females and black males, or even, you know, people with disability and all of that. So these are some of the industries, guys, that you can look into. When you know Ramo, there's always opportunities. And by the way, it is still yet a growing market. I don't want to give you guys an advice, a quick win. No, just go and do office supply, stationery. Boring. I mean, a lot of people are doing that now. What are the chances of you winning that bid? What are the chances of someone wanting to have a meeting with you because you want to propose cleaning, I guess, and stationery, You get what I'm saying? I mean, there already are players in the market doing that. And for you to come up on tops, that means you have to have some solution. Unless you just want to then come up with, an innovative way of buying, I don't know, stationery or, all of those, I guess, saturated markets. It's just not easy, guys, to crack that code because there already are dominating players that own the market share. And I do not want you to just bid for the sake of bidding. Okay? Let's move to the next one. This one is my favorite. Health and wellness services. How many of you guys know the popular terminology? Mental health. But these days, we are the generation that looks after our mental health, yeah? And medical aids have also now started to be creative around providing a service that includes mental health, support, right? So also insurances are starting to do that. Companies are starting to in fact incorporate, supporting employees with regards to mental health. And this is again another sector that is fast growing in terms of the services needed for wellness and health in and all of that. Some organizations, again, they are implementing gyms, having a psychologist there, having posters that socialize the well-being of people. So you can research and check what are the services required to support that. You might not be a psychologist, but you might do stuff that will support the psychologist to be able to work efficiently in a group or individual or centers. Again, these things are now becoming more popular, I would say, in the affluent market, middle class, but less, I would say, but less popular in underprivileged situations, right? So that's what I would advise you guys to look at. Already health in J sector always makes money. So this is another thing. People want motivational speakers, they want, services related to mental health, and how can we support? And remember, guys, mental health is not only evident in adults or us that are exposed to even saying these fancy terms, but also children. Think about children. How can you propose stuff that will support the mental health of children that come from situations and families that are not so balanced? Trust me, once you start this business, if you look at where you can fit in and you have a proposal or you partner with someone that you can do this, it is starting to be a thing. And there will come a time. Now you have suppliers that were smart and entered quite early. And when it starts to grow and reach that level, you will have these guys already dominating the industry. So this is something else you can look at and trust and believe there are tenders issued related to this. Alright guys, I need to get to the end. I have so many ideas, but it's getting dark. I just want to quickly finish before it gets dark. The other one I would advise you to look at when you're looking for opportunities to start supplying or even entering the business of tendering, it is simple one: catering services and I would say events, right? South Africa, guys, we are known for events. Yeah, futhi nje wamanje ama influencers, they're always having nje us on a FOMO. So events is another big business. It's still growing. If you see how people romanticize these days anything, a child turning 1, a child turning 5, someone turning 15, there's metric dance, there's, I don't want to talk about corporate events. Corporate events are all year. If you actually check some of the hotels and venues that are just in the city center, Sandton and all those posh areas, those hotels are fully booked until next year. So if you can even provide, I would say, rental space for events to happen into your property, but you need to be compliant, right? That's another thing. You can actually do that. But events business is growing as fast as crazy. People are just liking the idea of always having evening events, afternoon parties, year-end closures, awards. Like, it's lazy corner. This is one of the sectors. It's always there. And I think the growth is not even upwards. I think the growth is like this because there's just always other pillars introduced, and we are now starting to even be excited about celebrating. For example, people celebrate and create events to go do your yearly plans, your vision board. Can you imagine? It was never a thing before, right? To create, I would say, events just to have vision boards. But these days, abantu bayazenza, and people like aesthetics, right? So it's another thing that's just growing. I mean, I don't want to talk about schools. So events are always there year round. I don't think even there are enough events planners. But you obviously have to have a unique value proposition for your business to be unique and different, and or supply events equipment to those that already are doing that business. But these are some of these, I would say, industries and sectors you can look at that are always having opportunities. You'll never just go on eTender and search any of what I mentioned and you're not gonna find it. If you wanna test me, please go and come and comment down below and tell me, Lerato Namanga, I went to search, I could not find waste management tender. I went to search, I could not find catering. I can bet on that. So guys, this is what I had for today. Just look back into my videos. You'll definitely find it easier for you to participate in those bids once you have found your spot, your sweet spot. Once you found that spot, then you can literally go into these businesses and create a sustainable business. Remember guys, you are solving a business problem. You are solving an economic, social problem. The minute you find something that will attract business, not you chasing, then you'll not have to work hard so much, right? And you start creating, I would say, a niche and a market for yourself, especially as black young women and black young men. There's still a lot of business opportunities. Do be very careful for those who want you to partner just to sell you a steak without having rights, without having that, and just to use you as a forefront. I would say that's like fronting. Don't enter into those things. But anyway, this is what I had for today. Let me not digress. Let me know what you think of these sectors, these industries. Have you tried to enter into this type of, I would say, sectors, and maybe you did struggle, or what did you find? But I know once you go in and you put all your efforts there, you will not go wrong. Trust and believe. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you on the next one.